Welcome back to another episode of the Madden 24 franchise preview. We in the AFC now. If you haven't watched my two NFC videos, I did all the divisions in the NFC. I'm gonna leave them in the description. You can watch those. Tomorrow I'll finish up the AFC as we get ready for Madden to drop on Monday. For those of you that got early access, like myself, you know what I'm saying. You get to get the game on Monday evening, I believe. So just be ready for that. Just get you guys ready for that. Franchise will kick off. Some will start next week. Some wait till the first patch. Whatever your case may be, I want you to be prepared. All right. I played in probably about 20 franchises last year in Madden 23. 20 different franchises, and so I got a lot of practice, and I'm looking forward to this year. I love franchise, so I'll be in a ton again, and I want you to be ready. Okay, so we start with the AFC North. And I do them in order by worst to first. So the worst team in the AFC North to get in the franchise, and not to mean you can't win. I think you can win with all teams. It's just a degree of difficulty, okay? And basically built around your ability to improve players, so the way you play with them and upgrade them and to draft and get free agents, all right? So every team can become a Super Bowl team in the right hands, okay? So first, the worst team in the AFC North is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, this one was kind of tough because I really like their defense. T.J. Watt is elite edge rusher. Cameron Hayward is the run stuffer you need. I think Minka. So my three favorite users on the game are, I'll go five because it's kind of tight. My five favorite users on the game are Minka, Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, and dang, it's another safety I really like. I can't think of it right now. But Minka's in my top five. He's a top five user on the game to me. He has the traits. He has a high awareness. You put acro on him, he gonna go dumb. You can play him over top of true safety. He's really good. The question mark on this team is, can you make George Pickens into a superstar? He's a star dev receiver. He's young. He's tall. Has high jumping. Can you get him to be elite? If you can, then you got a shot. If you can't, then you might struggle. They do have some star dev players with Najee Harris. I think Deontay Johnson's down to star. Kenny Pickett might be star dev. They might move him up to star dev. He might be normal or star. So the question with the Steelers, the reason I got them last in the division, one, this is a really good division. I think this might be the best Madden division on the game from top to bottom, okay? So that's why they're last. Two, their offensive line is not great. So with a young quarterback and a bad offensive line, that's not a really good combination for winning in franchise. So if you're in a league that gets you traits, maybe you get X Factor Kenny or whatever, and that don't matter. But I'm doing this as if you're in a league that just plays raw. You get the teams and you build them, and you know what I'm saying, go from there. Kenny Pickett's release is horrible. So if you're in a league that can change it, change it. And their O line isn't necessarily good enough for you to just get a ball to Najee a whole bunch of times. I do like their defense. Let me say this: I like their front. See, this is the thing. They used to have the best linebacker core in the game, but they no longer have Miles Jack. They no longer have Devin Bush, and so they got T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward on their line. So the defensive line is really good, but their DBs are horrendous. They lost Weatherspoon, who was one of their best DBs. He was tall and decently fast. They lost him, and their corners are terrible. They got Minka, but other than that, their defense is not great. So in a division with teams this good already, like you got three good to elite quarterbacks. This is the worst team in the league in this division. You can win with them. What would I do with them if I got the Steelers? If I got the Steelers, I would be trying to get George Pickens a superstar. If he gets a superstar, he becomes elite. Okay, with his jumping and his size and his physicality. I would be looking for offensive line in the draft or in free agency. And I would free agency draft, O line, corners. I'll be looking for that. Maybe moving Cameron Hayward if someone if a and this is the thing about Cameron Hayward. If you got another like a playoff team, they might be looking for a run stopper or something in the middle of the season. Looking to move Cameron Hayward for a late first, early second. Is I think would be a good ideal too. So that's kind of what I would do with the Steelers. You can win with this team. Year one would be tough, but year two, three, four, five, because you should have cap room and draft capital, you'll be fine. Okay. Third worst team is Cleveland Browns. I said Miles Garrett. It's Cleveland Brown. And just because it's my question mark with them is Deshaun Watson. I had Deshaun in the league last year, and I hated him. Absolutely hated Deshaun Watson. But that was personal. I saw some other people be really good with him. The question is, can you get Deshaun to be elite? Because if you can get him to be elite, the Cleveland Browns can win multiple Super Bowls in a franchise. The reason he has to be elite is because the other two teams in front of him have Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. And you got to have an elite quarterback to duel with those guys, okay? Nick Chubb is legit. He can backpack an offense. And I think with the way run blocking and stuff is going to be, that you will have a shot to just run Rudolph and play defense. My issue with their defense, they lost Greedy, who was a Madden corner, right? So their cornerback crew is not great. Myles Garrett is a cheat code. You pass commit, he's gonna go get to the quarterback. He's gonna go dumb. But they lost. I think they lost the guy on the other side of Myles Garrett too, the star dev defensive end. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. I usually have it up, but I'm real slow today. Show me some grace, y'all. Show me some grace. There it is. I'm almost certain they lost him. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They got Zadarius Smith now. Oh, yeah, their defense is legit. You got two elite edge rushers. Zadarius Smith that doesn't have edge threat. He's 5 away. But they got him as a left end. He'd be all right. Corners are still bad, though. Corners are bad, and I don't like their offensive line. But Deshaun Watson down to 78 overall. He should probably be star dev. But, like, their cornerback crew is just not good, man. They got Denzel Ward, who's a really good Madden corner. But then they got Greg Newsome, who's probably like 89 speed. And then their next corner, Martin Emerson Jr., who's like 88 speed. And with rat catching being so good, like it's going to be tough to throw them slow corners out there and just play man and stuff. So if you can play some decent defense behind Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, you got a shot with this team. I think you can win year one. In the right hand, you can win year one. What would I do if I got the Browns? I would be trying to find a receiver. So, yeah, I mean, I would year one. I'm trying to win. I would run the football 30 times a game with Nick Chubb, and just pass rush. You got JOK and just send 7 guys after the quarterback every play. That's exactly what I would do if I got them. If we got Marquise Goodwin and Jakeem Grant, I like the Browns roster. I just think the other two teams are better. It's not that. So the Browns being in this spot isn't because I think they're a bad franchise team. I just think the other two teams are better. Okay. So Cincinnati Bengals, I got them second. Oh man, I ain't got the pictures. All right, so it should be Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. Those will be the 3 pictures. So just close your eyes and vision them. Those are 3 pictures. I just realized this. I just got here. It's all right. So Cincinnati Bengals, they got an elite offense. Elite offense. One of the best stock offenses on the game with Joe Burrow's X Factor, Jamar Chase X Factor. T. Higgins is finally a superstar. Star Dev, Tyler Boyd. They got Star Dev, what's his name? What's his name? Star Dev, the running back. Joe Mixon, who's a Star Dev running back, right? Like, their offense is elite. Joe might have kept his superstar. But I do know that they did move T. Higgins up to superstar. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins is a superstar with 2 abilities, too. He's an 87 overall. Tyler Boyd, Star Dev in the slot. And their defense is nobody's great, but everybody's average to above average. And so if you're one of those players who really can scheme and stuff, their defense is good enough for you to get off the field. The corners are a little slow. The DBs are average. They're very average. But like I said, they went and got Orlando Brown in offense. This is a team you can really outscore you load up, franchise first year, second year, third year, you try to outscore teams. The question mark is, do you bring T. Higgins back? So that's going to be your question mark. Do you bring him back? For how much do you bring him back? Can you keep everybody? That's the question with the Bengals, which is why I got them second in the division, is because they do have some cap issues. They do have some cap issues where they got some guys who are up. I think when it starts, Joe Burrow's going to need a deal too. So Joe Burrow's going to be up. T. Higgins is going to be up. And you're going to have to make some decisions on that, okay? So That is my take on the Bengals. I think this is one of the better year one teams. You can win Super Bowls with the Bengals, multiple. You'll be in the running every year with this team if you get them in a franchise. Now, the best team in the division. I think this might be the best franchise team on the game. Um, just because of how balanced they are, man. They got an elite quarterback in Lamar Village. They have decent wide receivers. Odell Beckham, they gave him love. Coming off a year where he didn't play at all. That shows you some people just got like cachet with Madden. Like he literally didn't play at all last year, and he's an 85 overall. Okay, there's some receivers like that played that like are 78, 77. Odell didn't play at all, and he's an 85 overall. So your receivers are good enough. Your offensive line is fantastic. You got a superstar tackle, got a guard that's an 85. You have the best fullback probably in the game outside of San Francisco. Um, I like I like what they have in Baltimore, man, and I love Lamar for franchise. Hold on, man, I'm thirsty. The reason I love Lamar in franchises is most people load up, play Madden, they pass the ball every play. They stand in the pocket, they try to throw bombs, and they do that every play. Lamar is so different than that like most that people have to change their defenses to guard him. And so, like, I think he gives you a unique advantage that other quarterbacks in franchise don't give you. Now, in a one-off regs match, you might be able to play with Patrick Mahomes, or I think you might play with Pat. You might think Josh Allen's better, but I think they're in franchise. There's no better quarterback than Lamar, and he's locked up. That was the thing with them last year. You had to figure out how to pay him. He's locked up. And I love their receiving core that has improved. With this team, man, you should use Fountain of Youth, bro. Use Fountain of Youth to keep Mark Andrews traded. Use Fountain of Youth to keep Ronnie Staley traded. And you got to. My first thing is I would use your Kyle Hamilton. And I would terrorize people, and I would get him superstar. And then I would just play with house money. J.K. Dobbins is another guy. I would start off trying to get him the superstar, just because if you have him and Lamar in that read option game, both traded, that's scary, man. That's just a scary team. I love the Ravens in regs, but all of them even more in franchise. And I think this is a team that if you get them, no matter how long the franchise is, you will be able to compete for Super Bowls. And so I like them as the best team in the division and arguably the best franchise team in Madden 24. Okay? Moving on to the AFC South. Okay? This is the worst division in real life football. This was the worst division in football. But on Madden, they're not necessarily terrible. They're not necessarily terrible, okay? And I'm gonna talk to you why. One, because you just got to win your division. So, kind of like I would say, the NFC South is probably a worse franchise team than these. Just because the teams that do all the good players in that division are old, but the AFC South has some young players that are really good, that you can improve on. All right, so let's talk about Tennessee. Tennessee, the reason that I have them last, right? And I almost put them third, but I put them last because they're old and slow, especially on defense. On defense, they are old and slow. Derrick Henry is a cheat code. They locked him up. I think he's under contract. I can't remember they signed Derrick Henry. I don't remember. But Derrick Henry's been one of the best running backs in the game. Then they went and got DeAndre Hopkins, which makes their offense serviceable year one. If they didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, you man press they face off. Nobody would ever get open, and this is one of the worst franchise teams to have. But by getting DeAndre Hopkins, he's gonna beat one-on-one man. And so you run with Derrick Henry, play action game, you have a chance. The question is, who do you play a quarterback? You got Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis, and Malik Willis. It's going to depend on your scheme, you know what I'm saying, and what type of player you are, who you go with. Ryan Tannehill is the best pocket passer out of all of them, and he's the highest rated. He is a 76 overall. Malik Willis is obviously the best scrambler out of all of them. But they did him scandals on the Rays. I think Malik Willis is a 66 overall, and then Will Levis is kind of the middle. He's a 69 overall. Will Levis and Malik Willis, and I think Tannehill are all bronze dev too. So that's the question mark. What I would do with this team, I would probably trade Derrick Henry. Yeah, I would probably trade Derrick Henry for young receivers. I think that's what I would do. I would play first year. I would trade Derrick Henry, try to get a couple young receivers or some draft picks, and then I would Play that way. I would pick one of the young quarterbacks, Malik Willis or Will Levis. I'll probably pick Malik Willis, but that's just because I like scrambling quarterbacks, read options and stuff. And then in first year, I would just try to build them and use Derrick Henry to get some leverage for a year or two. And defensively, so my issue with them defensively is they're old and slow. Jeffrey Simmons is old. KB is old. Harold Landry's old. Amani Hooker's old. What I do like about them this year is what they did as DBs. By getting Murphy Bunton, him and Caleb Farley are legitimate star dev cornerbacks that are one upgrade away from being really, really good. So I do like the fact that they added Murphy Bunting, and I think that he will play a huge role on that team. If you can get him or Farley to superstar, then you got a real shot to win this division year one. Just being honest, like you got a really, really good shot to pull that off. And so I'm charging my computer. You see, yeah, I'm not prepared, man. But yeah, I'm back. All right. But yeah, man, you can do a really good job. If you get them to superstar, then you actually got a shot. You got a shot to win this division. And so I wouldn't trade Derrick Henry until the deadline. So I would wait until the deadline to move Derrick Henry because if you get both of them corners superstar, then you got a shot to really make some noise in the playoffs by slowing the game down, low possessions, and just hoping one of them makes a play. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do if I had the Titans. Okay. Texans. The reason I got the Texans over the Titans is because I'm thinking about the longevity of franchise. And so they have what you want in a rebuild. They have a young quarterback who's star dev. They have young star dev players all over their roster, offense and defense. Who are ready, who are like one breakout away from being good. Okay, you got Damian Pierce, star dev running back, who has some things that you could like about him. You got Shaquille Griffin, star dev corner. He's not young anymore, but he's still good. Will Anderson, star dev edge rusher. Derek Stingley, star dev corner. Jalen Petrie, star dev safety. Okay, I don't like their receiving core. Their receiving core is bad, but I think that is I think we'll see what John Mechie is. He's a star dev receiver that if you can get him and CJ Stroud on the same page, you might be able to make some noise. Nico Collins, a big receiver, and you got Tank Dell, who's not very good. Okay, so things I would do with the Texans, I would absolutely try to keep CJ Stroud clean. Try to get him the superstar, get him the X factor. Um, in franchise, most people don't know this. You get upgrades not only by putting up a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns, it's by not having a lot of picks. So it's better to have a 3 touchdown, 0 interception game than it is to have a 5 touchdown, 2 interception game. Okay, which you might say 5 touchdowns is great, yeah. But if you want to do upgrades with quarterbacks, you want to keep them clean. And so I would keep my scheme super, super simple, make the reads easy for him, and really make sure he's clean. You want to have first year 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 6 interceptions, 5 interceptions type year, right? And that'll give you a chance to, even if you don't get it during the year, to get an upgrade in the offseason. And then you have a ton of money. This is why I put them over the Titans too. They have unlimited cap room to be active in the offseason. And so you can really, really, really use that money to make them better right away. And they have draft picks that they got from the Browns. And so this team has a ton of draft capital and money. So in a long franchise, by year 3 at least, year 2 most likely, if you're a decent user, this team is Super Bowl ready. Okay, so that's why I got them third. Colts, I got the Colts second, and I actually loved the Colts last year. After they got Anthony Richardson, before they got Anthony Richardson, I had this team. It was horrible. Oh my gosh, it was god awful. I was in a money league too. Oh, it was so bad. After I got A Rich though, this team was legit. He's a Madden quarterback. Strong arm, fast legs. You know, enough said. You know what I'm saying? And with him and Jonathan Taylor, who might be the best running back in the game, you can really, really do some things. Now, what I love about the Colts is also it can make them hard to use for certain players. If you're a player who wants to pass the ball 40 to 45 times a game, you're going to struggle with the Colts, okay? But if you're a player that can be balanced or that even likes to run more than they pass, you can be very competitive with this team year one, Okay, their front seven is dominant. They have good players everywhere on their front seven that can stop the run, that can rush the passer. You got DeForest Buckner, one of the best D tackles in the game. Shaq Leonard, one of the best outside linebackers in the game. Grover Stewart, another great defensive tackle. You got Kwity Paye, a young star dev edge rusher who's going to be really good for you. And I mean, that's all you need, right? That's what you need up front. And then the question mark for them is their skill positions, their corners and their receivers. I found Michael Pittman to be really good. He's star dev, 85 overall. If you get him the traits, he automatically gets 2 traits. He's a deep threat, so he would get deep out and deep in elite. Off rip, you get him to a superstar. Corner is a problem. They are small and they're not fast. And so depending on how this game plays, I'm worried about rat catching and slow corners. I really am. I'm not so much worried about highballing no more because it didn't look like it was in the game like it used to be. But I'm still sure bigger receivers will dominate smaller corners. And so there is a concern there with the Colts, DBs, and then wide receivers. But you do have some money to make those things happen. You probably got the best lineman in the game. The best guard in the game in Quentin Nelson. But you can just run behind him, man. The Colts are a team that, like I said, if you like to pass every play, the Texans are probably a better team for you. But if you can run at all, if you can get 15 carries, 20 carries in your arsenal, then I would for sure pick the Colts over the Texans. And I think you got a shot to win the division and to really give some people some problems in a playoff one-off situation. You run up against somebody who can't stop the run. Man, you could really, really make some noise with the Colts year one. And then moving forward, you got to work on your DBs and your wide receivers. So that would be your draft capital, free agency. That's where you got to tend to look, okay? And then once you do that, this is a good franchise team, okay? Best team in this division is the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is crazy because 2 years ago, this team was horrible in the game. Like, you man pressed them. They never got open. It was a rough team. Now this team is legit. Now, I will say they didn't show Trevor Lawrence no love. So, NFL rankings and Madden rankings, I just think Trevor Lawrence is better than everybody thinks he is. But he didn't get no love in the ratings. He's an 82 overall. I think he's a superstar. Not 100% on that. But what you do have is a ton of star dev players. Calvin Ridley is back. He's electric. You get him a superstar. Him and Christian Kirk, if you can play with like route runners, which I think they should still be good on this one. Route runners were better in Madden 23 than they were in 22, and I think they're going to be even better in 24 with them nerfing man defense a little bit. We'll get one of them to superstar is priority one. Then you have Josh Allen, Tyson Campbell, Foyesade Oluokun, and Andre Sisco. Those are all-star dev defenders who are one breakout away from being really, really good players. And the reasons I really like the Jags too is they have one of those unicorn tight ends in Evan Ingram, who's 6'4", 6'5", and super fast. Who really opens up your offense. You cannot single cover him with safeties and linebackers, and so should allow you to see some zone defense, which will help Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley with them not being, the fastest, tallest type of receivers. I think Trevor Lawrence is good enough. I think he's the best quarterback in the division, including A. Rich and C.J. Stroud, because he's already traded. And I think he's a few games away from X Factor. I think it won't be very hard to get Trevor Lawrence to X Factor. He has the ratings and all that to be a great Madden quarterback. And then I love Travis Etienne. He's another guy. If you get him a superstar, his juke move, they got him so shifty on here, you can make some dope clips with him. So I love the Jacksonville Jaguars in this division. I don't know if they have enough. I don't know if any of these teams have enough year one to compete. I think the Colts probably might have the best chance to shock some people in the playoffs because of Jonathan Taylor. But I think the Jags, through a 5-year franchise, are by far the best team in this division because they already have so many young players in place that you just have to dev up. Or if you're in a league that gets devs, man, this is a Super Bowl ready team, right? And so that's the AFC North and South. I'm going to see y'all next tomorrow to do the AFC East and AFC West. Leave a comment. Let me know if you would change some of these around. If I missed something, I I want to hear what you all think. Man, Madden 24 is coming quick, y'all. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. And don't forget to share with some people in your franchise. If you in a franchise, share it with your people. Or don't. No, you got to share it for me. I know you don't want them to have the information, but share it for me, man. I'm trying to hit 100 subs before Madden 24 come out. Appreciate you all watching. If you made it to this point, man, that's love. Y'all have a good day, man. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Peace.